My friends and peers are getting married left and right, and I'm still not married. Some people are even engaged and married sooner than I have even been together with my fiance. Long distance relationships, they're not for everyone. And when I hear other people speak negatively of it, it's like we ourselves choose to suffer. Hello, we're talking about life and a long distance relationship, and if you should feel like you're missing out on the rest of your life because of it. If you're new here, my name is Mike, a son, brother, and fiance here on the East Coast. On this channel, we talk about growing in life through purpose and positivity in moments when we think all we can do is wait for success to come our way. Today, we're talking about relationships, specifically long-distance relationships, and making time for them in our busy lives. As a disclaimer, I'm not sitting before you like a success story. I'm living an LDR story as well, and it's still unfolding. I have been in a long-distance relationship with someone in the Philippines for the past 5 years. Since day one, we've actually been in that long-distance relationship. Going back to the question, am I missing out in life because of a long-distance relationship or an LDR? Well, I don't personally feel that way. If anything, I feel like I'm missing out on the relationship because of anything and everything else in my life that keeps us away or apart. But for a relationship that relies heavily on communication and logistics skills of being able to effectively use your time, well, it really takes up everything to try to make this relationship work. Well, if you're focusing on everything that's going on in front of you, you may feel like you are missing out in life. Because in a long distance relationship, it takes up your time, and there's very limited person-to-person interaction. And it takes a lot of logistic skills and planning to try to make everything work out and try to frame your whole world to this one person. In comparison to other people's lives, it may seem like you're missing out in life, especially if you feel like you are waiting for things to get better, if you're waiting for the relationship or the long distance part of that relationship to end. You almost probably even feel like you want the time to just fast forward. But it's also been said before, if you wish to fast forward time, you're just wishing your life away. So instead of trying to wish my life away, or rather wish for everything to fast forward, if you think about it, somehow in some way, I'm going to be occupying my time. Whether or not I'm going to be in a relationship, or whether or not that relationship is actually long distance, or whether or not I'm spending time with my significant other, friends, or other loved ones, or whoever, doing whatever. It's only a waste of time if you have something better to do, if there's something more greater priority than what's going on in front of you. And trying to juggle a lot of this stuff, it's a lot to do with balance. You can still be in a relationship, be productive, and do all the self-improvement stuff such as working out, cooking, and taking classes of interest. It could all balance itself out. Conversely, you could also do the non-productive stuff. Netflix, oversleeping, video games. However, those could be the positive stuff, but they could also be the negative stuff. Whether the presence of someone is in person or online, someone or something will take up our time. It's only a waste of our time when it doesn't align with our goals, and especially when we don't have the patience to interact with other people or do other tasks that aren't related to our goals. Now, Netflix and oversleeping, those are pretty shallow. But of course, there are more important things such as saving money for a future car, emergency fund, house, wedding, and trying to work a lot. Maybe you want to advance your career, or you want to go back to school. Perhaps you want to pursue a passion and maybe take up time with entrepreneurial lifestyle. It could be something as simple as volunteering your time to a church or other cause, or take another part in your community. Whatever else that takes up that time in our day, there's time for it all. Whether it's some time of the day, some time of the week, or some time of the month. If it's your priority, you're going to do your best to try to make time for it. And here's some things that I learned about optimizing my time and how I was able to do everything around my schedule of spending time with my fiance. I batch tasks together. So if I'm going to be spending most of my time in the kitchen, do all of my meal prep and everything down there. If I have errands that I have to do throughout the day, I'm going to try to spend all my time going out and do everything at once, as opposed to going out, coming back home, going out, coming back home. Be purposeful with your time. Special considerations are like time zones, work schedules. Sometimes in the Philippines, working in the lab, sometimes you have days, sometimes you have nights, or sometimes you have afternoons. Me, I'm a nurse. I work on the day shift all the time. So at least that's steady. But still, with the time zones and everything, I'm morning, she's nights. She's mornings, I'm nights. So you really have to be thoughtful. And for all of you Christian brothers and sisters out there, I have to say that if you're praying for patience, I would be careful. A long distance relationship in itself is already something that just stretches your patience. If anything, I would just pray for more thoughtful thinking and reflections of how this relationship is affecting me. and how my patience is growing in that. And just use that and apply it to every other aspect of your life. Don't pray for more patience. Please, I implore you to just don't pray for patience. You will be tested, and be careful what you ask for. If anything, alternatively, we can pray for strength, growth, and guidance with the relationship. As with any relationship, we go back and forth, losses and wins, gives and takes, compromises and sacrifices. It's noble to be patient, but we're still in an uphill battle with patience on our backs. I don't think we need to put any more of this aspect in our lives. In conclusion, I began each of my long-distance relationships trying to do my best to get to know my significant other as best as I could, so that by the day that I say goodbye and part our ways, I could still say, this was the woman I want to marry. That this was the woman who I had confidence in waiting for in the future. But to be honest, does life feel like it's passing me by? My friends and peers are getting married left and right, and I'm still not married. People are still engaged, married. Some people are even engaged and married sooner than I have even been together with my fiance. Long distance relationships, they're not for everyone. And when I hear other people speak negatively of it, it's like we ourselves choose to suffer. But of course, if it were by choice alone, we'd be together in person and we'd be able to hug out and comfort one another in the hard times and in the good times. So if you feel like sometimes like you're missing out in life because of your relationship, so long as you find that the person you love is worth your time, you're right where you need to be. It's not a long distance relationship. It's a relationship. It's a loving relationship where life comes from. If that's where life comes from, well, I suppose you may not be missing much of it if you keep it alive and growing it. I mean, let me know. Do you guys feel like you're missing out in life because of your relationship? Or do you know someone who feels like they are? Well, we can pray for them, praise them, and encourage them on their journey. Because in that relationship, that's a part of where their life comes from. So support them in that growth. For now, I'll let you go ahead to bigger and better videos.